Good morning. Oh my God, good morning. Can you see me? I can see you. It's kind of bright, but it's okay. Anyway, this is Elise, and got a question for you. Question. Look at the light in and out. Let's see if it changes. A question for you. If someone said, I will give you $5,000 to stay away from some person, would you do it? If somebody else said, I'll give you $4 million just to act like you don't know them, would you do it? If somebody said, I'll give you $1,000 and I'll give you $2,000 in food stamps, would you do it? If someone said, oh my God, each one of you, I'll give you $3,000 in food stamps and $200 off of your rent every month for 10 months to stay away from someone or to act like you don't know them, would you do it? For some of you, the answer would be yes. And for some of you right now, the answer was and still is yes. So, were you in that greater need or that great of need? That money, food stamps, a perk on your rent, that you could just completely ignore, black out, walk away from, or do any other kind of thing, mess with the mail, go into the apartment, slander in the street, that you would do all that to hurt somebody? Or did you think that it wouldn't matter so much because, oh, it's just a game, just a little fleecing, or just, well, I had a need and look, I could use that rent money. I could use those food stamps. I could use that couple of $1,000. I could use that couple of million. So what? So what? And if you were the targeted subject and someone else was posed that same question, especially if you've known these people for a lifetime, for a long time, what? How would you feel? I guess it wouldn't matter, right? The survival of the fittest, to each his own. And I can remember when she didn't say hi to me in 1990. And it's 2024. And what? Isn't that how it goes sometimes? Because people can be very petty, or people can be very wantonous. People can be very just, what the hell? People can also be, well, it is what it is. But did you remember that time when you didn't have something and that person opened their door to meet your need? Did you remember the time, or do you remember the times? It could have been food, it could have been money, it could have been job, it could have been an escort, it could have been for your family member. Lots of stuff. It could have been to hold your mail. Lisa, when Federal Express comes, could you get my mail for me? Could I hold your saran wrap? Could I borrow your trays? Could you get, like, I got some stuff coming from Amazon. Could you get that? 40 years. Oh, I'm a little short. Oh, no problem. And then you go and take the money and you buy for food. Or you buy food. But then you have all your friends come over and play cards and eat up all the food that was supposed to be for your family. That's just an example of what some people will do who now don't know you. Isn't it amazing? So, what would be the psychology behind that? What would be the psychology? Survival of the fittest? Or is it just wanton psychology? I want this. I want that. Or would it be needful psychology? Psychology behind need. How far will you go? How far have they gone? And then you know what? Imagine that a project has been done and everybody's gotten paid across the board. All across the board, everybody's got paid. Well, what do you want for this service? Or I want to pay you. What do you want for this service? Ba ba ba. And people tell you what they want, and you pay them whatever it is that they say that they want. And if there's ever an issue, they would have the right, to come back and say, well, I think this or I think that, or can we revisit or whatever. The door has always been open, or the door's always open to conversation. But if conversation has not taken place in almost 40 years, we all understand that everybody's cool. But maybe also there's a faction that comes in and tries to say that everybody didn't get paid. So why would they say that? So let's look at the psychology of need. So when you need something, it's to satisfy something, right? Well, I won't satisfy your needs. So people satisfy their needs in many ways. And a lot of times the need can actually be based on something delusional. Or if it's not delusional, it can be based on an untruth. See, all it takes, oh my God, all it takes is for someone to create doubt. All it takes is for someone to create, a question. All it takes is for someone to spew out something negative about someone that you've always known has been a positive person. And here's the thing. It doesn't mean that everybody is perfect. We are all imperfect. But once a particular doubt is created, it depends on where the person's mindset, the person's need factor lies, pertaining to what it is that they would do, or in conjunction with what it is that they would do. Now, if they are the kind of person who rolls in truth, and they can remember and do remember those things about a person that were A-okay, then it would be all well and good that the person came and created doubt and did all this, and they would be like, look, I'm not even a part of that. But then, even if they remember that, but they had a need. So you mean to tell me that they would put aside what they know as truth concerning that person, but have a particular need, or are swayed by the meeting of their need, that they would just kick that person under the bus? Oh, they won't know. Because it looks like something that's just far-fetched that they would even, find out that you, the person who has the need, you who know the truth about them, would ever be found out. Wow. Isn't that amazing? It actually is not only the psychology of need, but it's persuasion. Because people would have to be persuaded in some manner to, first of all, make a call, or a judgment call. Not only that, It's not just persuasion. Let me say that again. They would have to have been persuaded to do something with a need, with a present need, to make a call. You know what I'm saying? Or to meet a call to destroy another. They would have to. They would have to. And then here's the thing. Again, if they had that heart and they were able to reason properly or process what was going on and what is going on, then perhaps even if they had a need, even if that mode of persuasion was presented to them, or that thing was presented to them, they would be able to say no. So where do they stand? Where would that kind of person stand in terms of morals and values? And sometimes morals and values go out the window because need is most paramount. So people will throw you under the bus, even knowing truthfully the kind of person that you are. Yeah. Isn't that something? Isn't that amazing? And you know what? What comes to my mind right now, or who comes to my mind right now, is Pam Boyd. PM Boyd. Accountants. PM Boyd. Accountants. And I don't have to go into detail, but you know who you are. And you also know what need is, and you also know what persuasion is, and you also know the truth. Yeah. And, we can leave that right there. And even those people that are in your life for a lifetime, whether present or not, but you've had the experiences with them, everybody knows portions of the truth. But what is most paramount? Everybody's idea of what is key or what is most important can be different based on need. And the question is, how low will you go? How low will you stoop? Sometimes things present themselves as being so good. But we never, even when we engage, we never ever think about the ramifications, or if there will be any ramifications or any consequences that might have to be faced. But you see, that's on the personal side for the person who chose to engage. But then again, thinking about the targeted subject, we rarely think about the person who this is geared towards, who your activities or actions are geared towards, are pointed at. Because you just don't think anything would come of it. Your need is most important. The psychology of need. Amazing. Amazing. And you know what? Sometimes people make this psychology of need a lifelong thing. And when I say they make it a lifelong thing, it is what it is. Because they come first. It is what it is. They just don't care. They ain't worrying about ramifications. Ain't worrying about nothing. It is what it is. Now somebody can throw that back at me and go, well, you come out and you say this and you say that and you say you don't care. I'm fighting. The difference is that I'm fighting. I'm fighting, but the battle belongs to someone else. I'm fighting for what is right. I'm fighting for what is truth. I'm fighting for what is real. At the sake of people looking at me like I'm crazy. At the sake of people trying to establish and develop something going back so that they could lay claim and lay hold to. These are people who do these kinds of things because ultimately they have a need. or ultimately they've had a need. And so it goes on. The process just goes on till eternity, until till death. I mean, and it involves a whole lot. And I'm not going to go into all those different areas because I've said them before. And the thing is, even if a person brought to the forefront their judgment or their idea of why it is they're doing what they're doing, oh, maybe it is because they don't know, the targeted subject doesn't know this, doesn't know that, doesn't know the other. Look at all the people that through persuasion and through need, or because they have a need, will band together to support a lie. And then when you think about all of this, the persuasion that comes by way of delusion and illusion, this is the truth. All of it that comes by that, and then knowing the type of people these people are that are doing it. They could be IT persons. They could be musicians. They could be photographers. They could be lots of different things. Well, I know him as a musician and they've been out there for all this time. And, well, truly, I never knew. And they always, and creating that kind of thing, again, through delusion and illusion. Because people have a present view of who they are. Even though they may know you, or they may not know you, will tend to just gravitate and support the illusion and the delusional efforts that they put together in combination with this persuasive technique to say that you are not worthy, the targeted subject, and what you say has got to be a lie and is a lie, or you don't know how. Isn't that amazing? Psychology of need. Some people have an endeavor to meet before they go to the grave. And those endeavors could be, before I go to the grave, I'm going to get a Grammy. Before I go to the grave, they're going to know and believe and think that we're the ones who are responsible for that billboard. Before I go to the grave, people are going to know that she had an opportunity, but she didn't know what to do with it. Before I go to the grave, everybody's going to know that she didn't pay for nothing, but we paid for everything. And she sat there and never had a job and never did this, or he never did that. And they're going to know the truth. Before we go to the grave, or all of us go to the grave, they're going to know that both of them had psychological problems, and they were wannabe musicians and wannabe this and that, and never knew what to do with their money and did not know how to handle anything, and we had to do everything for them. This is a scenario of made up of delusions and illusions, but you'll be surprised maybe of who has jumped on or engaged this thing. It is amazing. Psychology of need. Psychology of persuasion. Oh my God. What people will do and what they won't do. Here's another thing to think about. When people know that you stand for truth and that everything that you've done is truthful, has been truthful, but they have created that illusion, that delusion, and, are submerged in a lie. They have to keep the lie going. They have to keep it going because they don't want to be seen as the ones who actually attacked, who actually stole, who actually still use the name, who actually got people perhaps, you know, contributing to their cause, contributing to their quote unquote business, but it's never been their business. And you, as the person who are the owner, or you are the targeted subject, the one who has been from inception, is, and currently forward still will be, it will make it look like you are the one who is at fault. So that all their activity stems around destroying you. Destroying you. But you're not aware totally of how they're doing everything. So they're going around saying we own this and we own that, and we're just allowing, and we're not going to allow all these different things. But the people who engage are not even thinking. Like, are you really thinking? And you know why there's no physical approach? Because it's made upon, or the foundation of what it is that they're doing is illusion, made up of illusion and delusion, and a pack of lies, non-truths. They have a need. And they actually can't prove anything. Cannot prove anything. Interesting. Look at this for a moment. I was on the train a couple of weeks ago, and I was thrown off the train. Okay, I'm not going to give you the whole story, but thrown off the train. And I'm like, for the reasons that they stated, I think it was just downright crazy, literally. But here's the thing. I get on the train in New York, and this woman comes in and sits across from me. I'm in an accessible seat, and this woman and this guy sit across from me. So I'm looking at this woman, and I'm like, just something about this woman. Wow. And some things come to my mind. So I start to do just a little bit of research. And then I hit it. Voila. Okay. See, all things happen in time. And I could leave it right there. I could leave it right there. So there is a connection. There was and is a reason, perhaps on the side of that person that was there. But then on my side of it, there was and still is a reason for why she struck me, just to be, just, even though she did not look at me, but her presence struck me as purposed, very purposed, needful. So, as I stated, I did my little research in the whole nine, and I came up with the voila. And let's go a little further. I normally keep all of my things together, and thank God I document everything, so that even if something goes missing, I still have documentation. So there was this one little thing that connected this person, to me in a direct and or an indirect way. So I went out the other day, and everything of mine was put together, because every day I kind of organize and straighten up, and before I leave the office or the home, I clean up. I sweep, I fold up, change the cat box, and make sure the cat has water, fresh water, food, and throw the garbage out. And I do all of that before I leave every single day. My floors are swept, the garbage is out, the cat box is changed, and if for some reason it's not changed, I couldn't get to it, but then I will get to it. I spray, I leave candles out, I do everything by myself and for myself. So it's on purpose, for purpose, and by purpose. So I'm purposed. I have a need. And my daily need is to see that these things, I need to see that these things are done. And if for some reason I just can't get to all of it, I try to do as much as I can. And I'm okay with it. Every day. Make sure my sink is cleaned up. Yeah, sometimes I may leave dishes, but I will stack them, take the water out, rinse them in the whole nine. And if someone was to come in and see it, it's still in order, that it's not all over the place and food. And I just, that's just me. I can't do that. Or put it this way, I won't do that. If there was an emergency situation and I had to scoot out or run out, if I could take 5 minutes and get it straight before I go, I would do it. But if not, I would go. And yes, you may see some things not in order because it happened through the night. But on a daily, on a regular, every day before I leave, I try to straighten up everything. So that when I come back, it's whew, I can just, and that's that. So imagine that I keep all of my things together. You know, my ID cards, my debits, everything. I try to keep them together, whether or not they're in a separate place or not. I know where things are. So there's one thing that goes missing from a week ago. Two things, actually, I believe. And I'm like, I saw them before I left because I organized. I saw them. I absolutely know that I had them. And by the end of one day, I get back and they're not there. And I took everything out, dumped it, went through every piece, not there. And I had to, like, at first I was a little bit annoyed. And then I said, why are you annoyed? You document everything. So what's the problem? I know the number. I know the code on it. What? And you know what? I've learned, and I'm still learning more and more, that you know what? If you don't have something, it doesn't mean that it's the end. You always will have something else. So I'm like, okay, so even if this piece or this document is missing or this thing is missing, could I still prove? Child, you already proved it. What? But somebody else had a need. Somebody else had a need, which was associated with finding out who it is that I am. Like, why would they just take this one piece? And I have to laugh now because it is truly hilarious. It is absolutely hilarious. Hilarious. Because it lends credibility to the fact that that person that I saw on the train was exactly who it was and who she was in association with what it was that was lifted from my bag. But some people could think and may think, because of the fact that I'm saying this like this, oh, she's crazy. Oh, she's just crazy. She's mental. But the question would be, again, with all of the things that were there, why would that one thing or those two things be lifted? So number one, on the train, this person had a need. And went the distance of making sure, let's go like this, quote unquote, that they met me and were in proximity to me. But how could they make sure? I had to have been taken off the train so that the trains could meet. Maybe not the ones from Virginia, but the ones from New York. Think about that for a moment. Lots of things can be in play because there is and was a need. Because I'm looking at this like trespassing? Like, really? For everything that I've gone through and everything that I'm made up of, everything that is documented. Why? How many explanations could there be pertaining to the whys behind that. Could be many. So if I was literally taken off a train and had to wait 7 hours or more for another train, was there something else that needed to be done or seen by someone else? And when I got on that New York train and I saw this woman, it just struck me. Wasn't familiar with the face, but she just struck me. And then did my little research and I was like, oh, okay. But I couldn't definitively say that that was the reason in totality for why I got thrown off the train. But you know what? Here's the thing that's so wonderful. Timing is everything. Time, place, and space, and truth. So if we just wait a little bit, things will come into fruition, things will come into view. So here it is, this other piece that ties this one woman and myself is nowhere in my possession. But before I left that day, it was there. Think about that for a moment. Psychology of need. So how far will a person go when they have need to know who you are? How far will a person go when they have need to destroy you? How far will a person go when they have a need which is tied to destroying not just you physically, but mentally, emotionally, and financially? How far will a person go to persuade others through illusion and delusion that you are not who you say you are? How far will a person go, or will a people go, to just destroy your credibility? How far will a people or person go to say, no, she's not the one. That's not her. How far will people go to create the scenario that you're not able to manage, or you're not entrepreneurial material, or you're just a wannabe, and that we've had to step in? How far will people go to prove to other people that they took care of you for a lifetime and that you never had a job? How far will people go to perpetrate a lie? How far will people go to try to step into the things that you're involved in and have created? You created these things that are good things and involve other people. How far will they go to pretend that they are you, or that they had a reason why they did what they did, but they never confronted you? How far will people go? Oh my God, when somebody has died and the information of their death and anything connected to these people, even if it means that you might have been their beneficiary, or you might have been someone that they named, how far will they go to stand in and be you and take everything and pretend, perpetrate the fraud? How far will they go? Maybe lots of people had power of attorneys that they gave to you. And because you didn't answer the notice, or you didn't see the mail, so many things were left undone, like you were irresponsible or not accountable. But you know that for a lifetime you always have been. And then on the flip side, you've done everything you could do. Changed your address, made a criminal investigation, went to the police department. You've had 99 police come into your house and say, well, you've done everything. I mean, come on. And you still have to live. You still have to try to maintain your sanity with all of the stuff going on. How far will people go to perpetrate the fraud? Oh, they'll steal from you. They'll rob from you. They'll take your ideas. They'll have you seen through satellite. They'll copy your voice. They'll do everything. And the creative juices that you have, the creativity, the creative you comes out of you. But they will lay hold to and try to take credit for what comes up out of you and the things that you've done and the things that you do. Pretending and know that they cannot be you. How long will it last? How long can that last? We'll go in your house and see your vision wall and take your company names and your ideas and your stuff and try to make it look like this is all that they do. Delusion and illusion. They'll get the grant, they'll get the money and still throw you under the bus, knowing that everything that they're doing is an untruth. The psychology of need. I have need. And whether you have need or not, it doesn't matter. My need is most paramount. By any means necessary. Illusion, delusion, persuasion, untruths, false connections. And they will travel from the lowest parts of the earth, obviously, all over, just to create the scenario, just to uphold the foundation of a lie. So when we talk about the foundation of a lie, what would that be? What would that be? The foundation of a lie. Everything that they have concocted that was used to persuade you, creating the illusion or the delusion. But you yourself know, you know a little bit of the truth. But you were so persuaded that that little bit of truth, you just threw it in the garbage. And if they have access to some of the things that belong to you or some of the whereabouts that you've been or some of those other connections in terms of people that you know, they'll go, like I said, from the lowest parts of the earth to the ends of the world just to make it look like it's true. And some of you can be so ditzy, dumb, stupid. You know why? Because you have a need too. And if it looks good, smells good, sounds good, sings good, is pocket good, or food good, you will go along with it too. Psychology of need. I need thee, oh, I need thee every hour. I need thee, oh, bless me now, my Savior. Oh, I come to, Lord, to thee. That's all I need. Because in all of the crazies and all of this stuff, he's the only one that I can count on. And yeah, there is a psychology of need. But I would rather be rocking and rolling in truth rather than a delusion or an illusion created just because there's a need. I would rather be in truth rather than in the delusion or illusion just because I have a need. And then why would I want to rest on what somebody else says and does? Oh, well, they said I'm going to get, and they told me, they said we deserve. Who's your source? People come and people go. This is just me. But that one right there, always present, and always in the know. That's just me. At least signing out.